approximately 6 p.m. And would you care to do the Pledge of Allegiance today?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
To the flag of the United States of America.
To the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please take roll call.
Okay. Chairperson Cohens,
Present.
Commissioner Houston, Commissioner Swamy, and Commissioner Toledo. Okay. We have another new commissioner. Commissioner Nelman is not here today. He has a conflict. Hopefully he'll be here for the next meeting. And since that makes 5, obviously, Ryan Richard is no longer a commissioner, and I informed him of that this morning. So he may or may not come by to say hi. I don't know. We'll see. Okay.
And before we start, we have a new commissioner. That would be Mike Toledo. Did I say that right? Okay. Would you like him to say a few words before we start?
There we go, okay. I've been in Hawthorne for almost 50 years, and I've been in business here. I was at the Planning Commission from about 2014 to 18. Then I did 2 years as an appointee on the City Council. So I've been around town for a little while. And so it was when I was told that they probably could use somebody on the Planning Commission, I thought, well, you know, I've done that one before. And so I put in an application, and here I am.
Well, welcome.
So, thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Before we move on to oral communications, we should have an election for vice chairperson who will become the chairperson in January. So amongst yourselves, make nominations, and then we'll call for a vote.
Well, I would like to suggest, since there's only 4 of us here and we're still lacking a 5th, is there any way that we can roll it over, if this is okay with you guys?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just to make it fair and equitable?
That's
I
fine.
believe in transparency,
I agree.
fair, and.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is that
Good with
okay with
that.
everybody here? Okay, is that all right?
Yes, that's fine. Now move on to oral communications.
Okay. This is the time for the public to address the Planning Commission on items not on the public hearings portion of the agenda. After obtaining permission to proceed by the presiding officer, we request that speakers should first state their full name and address for the record, although this is not required. The speaker shall limit their address to 3 minutes. Any public comments that are discriminatory, defamatory, or otherwise not protected speech will not be considered, consented to, or otherwise adopted by the Planning Commission in its deliberations and findings. As a courtesy to others, please silence cell phones and other electronic devices. The Planning Commission strives to treat all participants with civility, and we ask that you do the same. Please keep remarks to 3 minutes. Seeing nobody else, I will close oral communications. Planning Commission consent calendar.
We have no items on consent tonight.
Continued public hearing.
We have no continued public hearings.
New public hearings.
We have one new public hearing. This is the Zone Text Amendment ZA 2025-0002. It's the citywide parking reform ordinance. However, given that we have new commissioners that have not had an opportunity to read this ordinance thoroughly or ask questions of me or anything else, I'm going to suggest that we continue this to the next meeting.
Okay.
So I will need a motion.
I motion for continuance.
A second.
Third. Okay, give me just a second here. Okay, Commissioner Houston?
Yay.
Okay, Chairperson Cohens?
Yes.
And Commissioner Toledo?
Yes.
Okay, and Commissioner Swamy?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so that is continued to the next meeting, which is, excuse me for a second here. Get my calendar up. That will be November 5th. Okay,
Sorry. Okay. Let me
Alright.
see administrative items.
you can introduce it, yeah.
Color approval EC 2025-0003, and that's 13737 Hawthorne Boulevard. Now is the time to consider a color approval for a commercial building located at 13737 Hawthorne Boulevard. Senior Planner Maria Maharick will present a staff report.
Good evening, Commissioners. Let's see here. Normally,
There you go.
we wouldn't have a presentation, but today we do. Our intern prepared this presentation, but he is unable to be here tonight. So this is a color consent application for 13737 Hawthorne Boulevard. And this is a location of the property right on Hawthorne Boulevard and right on the corner there. It's an old property. If you probably recognize it. It was an old smog check facility. And so this is the prior view of the building before the new paint colors. The applicant was unaware that they needed to get approval from the Planning Commission, so they went ahead and painted the building to these colors, black, orange, and they utilized white as an accent color. And they are requesting approval of this building. One of the things that wasn't done is the back of the building was not painted at all. So they were requesting if they can just paint the back in a white color. So I mentioned to them that I would request that of the Planning Commission. So they didn't want to continue the black all the way around. And so this is what we have for your...
And for your information, the back of this building does face the residential neighborhood, so white may be a more appropriate color for the back.
So, very short presentation. We request that the Planning Commission approve the colors if they would like to do so, and for the applicant to use graffiti resistant coating since it's already been painted, and on top of that to paint the back of that building in white.
Does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff?
No, that happens quite often that I remember. And those colors are like that Blaze pizza. I remember when that came about and changing some of those colors, that looks fine to me.
I have no questions.
I have no questions either. Is the applicant present and do they wish to speak?
They were unable to attend, unfortunately.
Do I have a motion?
I motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Would the secretary please call for the vote?
Commissioner Houston?
Yes.
Commissioner Toledo?
Yes.
Commissioner Swamy?
Yes.
And Chairperson Cohens?
Yes.
Okay, that item is approved. Thank you.
Determination of conformity 2025 DC 01-3152 West Rosecrans Avenue. Now is the time to consider determination of conformity 2025 DC 01.
Thank you.
Planning Director Greg McLean will present a staff report.
I wasn't aware it was going to be me. Sorry.
That's what I was looking like. Wait a minute.
I just need to see yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is related to the property that the city is interested in purchasing at 3152 West Rosecrans Avenue. The site is zoned R3, but that's not the relevant part here, because it was recently rezoned from M1 to R3. And the most important thing is that there's an overlay on this site for the housing I'm sorry, maybe Nathan can correct me here.
Yeah, so for this site, it is zoned R3 at this time. That is a change from the M1. The general plan land use map, which, you know, was established in 1989 and has been updated since then, reflects that it is also industrial. However, in the recent housing element update that was approved in, I believe, 2023, this site was located as a housing opportunity site. And the housing element itself, which is an element in the general plan, directed to update the zoning for this site to R3. So in that regard, this property is in conformity with the proposed use. If the city is purchasing the property without a necessary public purpose, then it has to be utilized for affordable housing.
Thank you, Nathan. Forgive me for making that mistake. It is in the inventory of sites of the housing element and not the housing overlay, which is even more conforming than it would be with the overlay. The intended use would be affordable housing. However, this will probably be put out as a mixed-use project. So commercial on the ground floor, probably also in the front, and housing in the back and on the top. So all we need from the commission is a motion and a vote to say this is in conformity with the general plan, specifically the housing element. It's somewhat of a formality, but it is required by law.
Well, I have a question real quick.
Sure.
And I'm kind of going back just a little bit. I noticed it's in R3, but that was done like 2 years ago?
Correct.
The reason why I'm asking is I'm just trying to figure out, I noticed that it's like a lot of density in the east side of the city. Is there a reason why?
Yeah.
I've noticed that there is like all the density, residential and all that.
It's
It's
a
all on
little
the
bit
east side versus it being
Yeah,
equitable?
no, it's a little bit misleading because a lot of the density is definitely in the east and southeast particularly, but there's also a great deal of density that is somewhat more hidden in the north part of the city. Where we've been recently going through the land use maps and finding lots and lots of ADUs that were illegally constructed over the years. Triplexes, duplexes, when we thought it was a single-family home. So density is, we haven't even gotten to some of the other neighborhoods yet, so I'm only going to speak about North Hawthorne and Moneta Gardens area. The density is definitely a little higher in this area, but the reason why this area was chosen to be changed was that we felt that an industrial strip along the south side of Rosecrans was not any longer compatible with the surrounding uses, which are all residential on both sides of on both the north side of Rosecrans and the properties to the rear. They're all residential, and the need for that area to be industrial didn't make much sense. And unfortunately, we have a lot of commercial that is not being utilized, a lot of vacant commercial. So we didn't want to add to the mix of additional vacant commercial. So the choice was to make this area conform with the surrounding areas and make it residential.
And one more question. I know there's a new law
Yeah.
that was just passed. I want to say it's SB 79, but I may be wrong on the law number. How high, or I guess what my question is not how high they can build. The question would be, in that particular area, how do you, with the new, I guess, okay, with the new law, SB 79, what are the cons with that new law, and then now with what we have currently with having it mixed use in our
Well,
R3?
we're still evaluating that law because it is so new, and I'm not sure that it even applies to this
Yeah,
property.
SB 79 doesn't apply to this lot. It
Yeah.
only applies to those that are within a certain distance of a major transit stop. And in the city of Hawthorne, there's not one near to there.
Yeah, so the major transit stops would be I think it's now called the C line, it used to be the Green Line station. So there's one at Crenshaw, there's one at Hawthorne, and there's another one way in the southwest corner of the city at Marine. So within a half mile of any of those stations, then SB 79 applies, but this is not near any of
Oh,
those.
it's half mile, not 1.5 miles?
No, it's half mile.
There's,
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
there's
that's-
there's varying distances depending on the type of development that are involved in SB 79, but I don't think any of them are more than half a mile.
But we'll be evaluating that and implementing what we need to when we figure out all the nuances of it. But the most important thing is the city's buying this property, and therefore, whatever the zoning says is not relevant. The city has a provision in its zoning code that says the city itself, as well as certain other government entities, are not subject to the zoning.
Okay,
So, for that reason, you know, whatever we feel is appropriate is the answer. So
Correct.
I can't tell you if it's going to be 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories,
Right,
or more.
'cause
I don't know.
it depends. And of course, it's just going, obviously with the rate is just going to be included, not that it's necessarily, it all depends what the market wants. So I'm just going to leave it
Yes
at
and
that.
no, because these will be affordable. So they will be at some level of affordability, probably moderate, which is almost market rate anyway. But the city must consider that as the use if it's not going to be used as a city yard or a city hall or any other, a park or something of that nature. And it's not appropriate for any of those uses because we already have those things, and for a park, there's other problems. And it's too close to the major street to be a good park. So that leaves affordable housing.
Okay, going back to the affordable housing though, just a clarification. I know I feel like I'm repeating myself, but I'm repeating it just to make sure I'm clear. So you said it's going to be affordable, but in the medium level.
Possibly, we don't know yet.
But it could be.
Because we're going to have to partner with an affordable housing developer, and whatever they specialize in will probably be what it is. So I can't tell you if it's going to be for families, or for veterans, or for seniors, we don't know yet.
Okay,
But
so
all of
just to
those
be clear.
categories could be considered affordable.
Okay, sounds good. Does anybody else have any questions?
A while back, there was a property on Chadron that was supposed to be targeted for veteran housing.
Oh, I think you mean,
1-4 something,
yeah,
something.
it's Cordary, it's Cordary.
It's Cordary.
Cordary, yeah.
Yep.
Whatever happened to that?
That one, again, city owns it, and the city has gone out for an RFP for twice now, but we recently selected Abode Housing to develop an affordable housing project on that site. And we have a ENA, an exclusive negotiating agreement with them, and we're working on a development agreement at this time. So some of the details are not nailed down yet, but again, city property, we don't have to be concerned necessarily with all of the strict zoning regulations. We just have to build a good project.
I thought that that was set aside specifically
Yeah.
for veterans.
No, the original one was, but that deal fell apart when the partner at the time was Skid Row Housing. They went belly up. So that deal fell apart. And that was only a handful of units, maybe 14 or so. So
It was 18 units, I think.
18, yeah. The new one will be considerably higher. But that's something that's being worked on right now, all those details. This project could be some portion of it set aside for veterans, but that hasn't been decided yet. That's going to be the city council's.
How big is the lot that you guys are talking
It's a
about?
little bit more than an acre, I believe. I don't know if that's in here or not. I think it's just over an acre.
Yeah.
Rough, different shape, but roughly the same as the Cordary property.
No, that, to answer, about your question about why is that area so high with density, is the people that laid out the city way back when put all the big lots east of Prairie. So if you wanted a lot, like a 300-foot lot, the only place around town where you get an R3 lot that big was east of Prairie.
That's correct, because those were originally laid out as horticultural lots, and so that was truck farming, and they needed bigger lots. And yes, so when that need moved out to the fringes of Los Angeles, then these lots became developed as apartment buildings. Yeah, that's correct.
Do you anticipate with the new general plan and all that to be changing?
No, I don't see that changing because we can't necessarily lower the density because then we would have to put that somewhere else and that would be even harder. What I see happening is that we'll be looking for new places to put density that won't be as impactful to that neighborhood or to other neighborhoods, but I don't see that neighborhood changing. I can see the buildings being recycled in the next decade or two because they are getting old. And that would be a positive thing. We get new buildings with better amenities and so forth. But I don't see the density getting lower, no. Unless we wanted to take another neighborhood and up the density, and I don't think anybody really wants that.
Well, we don't have a lot of space anyways. Well,
Well, we have more than you think, because as I mentioned, we have a lot of commercial space that is vacant, and that's a factor of having basically too much land zoned for commercial uses for a city this size. And so some of that could be repurposed, some of it for housing, some of it for open space and parks and such. And that's part of what the general plan will be looking at. But we're going to try very hard not to put all the density in one neighborhood again, like it was back in the 80s.
yes.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to repeat that mistake. But now that it's there, it's there. It's not going away.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Does the planning commission, oh, sorry. Is the applicant,
We're the applicant.
we're the applicant.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get a chance to review the script. And like I
I know.
said, the changes came late last night, so there
No,
wasn't really no
exactly.
time.
That's why I'm kind of like here and there with, I have a new script, everybody. So work with us today, please. Let me see here. Do I have a motion?
I motion.
Okay, and I'm going to assume that's a motion to
To approve.
approve it? Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, yep.
Okay,
Will the secretary please call for the vote?
yes, Commissioner Houston,
Approve.
Commissioner Toledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Swamy? Approved. And Chairperson Cohen's?
Approve.
Thank you. Okay, we have no future items for the agenda at this point. We expect things, but the only thing I would say is that the continued item is going to be on the next agenda, and also there is one more thing, isn't there? Some rectangle. What? Huh? You have a
The
microphone.
billboard.
We are hoping to get billboard agreements for the airport back. We, as you're probably aware, we have a new city attorney, an interim city attorney, and the one that was working on it isn't working on it now because he's kind of resigning. And so I'm told that I'll have those ready for the next meeting. So hopefully that will happen, and then we can get back to that issue. So those are the two issues that we'll have for the future.
Sounds good. Commissioner reports.
I don't have anything.
Okay. And
Nothing.
any
today.
reports at all?
No, I'm just
Nothing?
good to be here.
Okay. I have nothing to report as well. Okay. This meeting is adjourned at 6:25 to the next regular meeting, which would be
November 5th.
November 5th, 2025.